Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Ada Virtual Classroom. My name is Dawn, and I'm going to be your host this evening for the webinar. And we are really excited for this one. It's going to be a very different and fun webinar, a little break from the normal clinical that we do for our dentists and our clinicians that like to view these. And I'm excited about it. There's a lot to learn here with AI. Tonight, we're going to be covering Dentistry Transformed, how AI elevates practice management and marketing. So let's go ahead and get started. I do want to remind everyone that these webinars are put on by Ada Education. Ada is an acronym for the American Independent Dental Alliance, and we are a community of now over 23,000 independent dental clinicians. Think about that, 23,000 clinicians across the United States, all independently owned, all are members of our Ada community, and all are in this together, joining as one to increase your buying power, to increase your power as a community, and that is what Ada is all about. If you want more information on Ada, you can go to our website at www.adagroup.org. After the sorry, I'm a little tongue-tied tonight. After the webinar is completed tonight, it is a 1 hour, 60-minute webinar. And it will be short and sweet, but we were going to be filled and packed with information. But I know that afterwards, you're going to want to know about how to get your CE certification. After the webinar, you're going to get an email from education@adagroup.org. Please check your junk and spam folders if you don't receive it. Sometimes it does go in there. You're going to get a feedback survey. Answer those quick questions. Let us know what you thought about it so we can improve. And then once you complete that, you'll get a second email and it will have your CE certificate in it. I want to give special thanks to our education partners tonight. The reason that we can do education so economically priced at this quality is because of our sponsors. And tonight we have My Social Practice that is actually speaking for us this evening and supplying all this fantastic information. Of course, I also want to mention our 4 supporting dealer partners, Atlanta, Getsy, Midwest, and Nashville Dental, all support our members in the exceptional independent dental service that they provide to each and one of our members. So on to the main event, everyone. I'd like to introduce Adrian Lefler. I've known Adrian for many years. He's a pro in the dental industry, and I personally do not know anyone that knows more about AI and more about social media marketing and building websites and just everything that is on the pulse of new industry standards than Adrian Lefler. So you can learn a lot from Adrian. Please note his information. Maybe you don't need to contact him now, but you may on down the line. He is a valuable resource. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Adrian. And Adrian, they are all yours.
Dawn, you're an angel. Thank you. Appreciate it. It's nice to meet everybody tonight, and I'm super excited to be doing another webinar with you. I've been in the dental industry for 15 years, and we work primarily with single practices and helping support single practice dental practices and owners to, find their voice and find new patients and streamline processes internally in their office. So this is going to be fun. So I've done quite a few presentations on AI because it's super hyped right now, and a lot of people just don't know much about it, and there's a lot of chatter online about it. So in this presentation, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some tactical ways to leverage AI, simple, easy steps, things that you can do, you can take back to your practice and create content, create social media content, marketing content. And we'll talk also about some things like conversational AI and some other inflection points in where AI is basically software and products are being developed that if you haven't been introduced to them yet, they're kind of hitting the industry at this point, and dental practices are bringing in some of this AI technology to help them run their practices. So I'm going to share my screen really quick and we will get going. All right, let me get this full screen. All right. So I'm the CEO of My Social Practice. We're a dental digital marketing company. We've been in the industry for about 15 years. We only work with dentists. And that's all I'm going to say about me and our company. Let me start by just setting the stage a little bit here. Roy Amara was at Stanford for years back in the, I think it was in the 60s or 70s that he said something like this. But so it was early on in the whole tech kind of thing. He said, we tend to overestimate the effect of a technology in the short run and underestimate the effect in the long run. This is something he kind of came up with. He calls it Mara's Law, his last name. And this was after studying many different types of technology that enter a particular industry. So this graph here is basically giving a suggestion on how humans think about the future and how technology productivity develops over time. So in the beginning, there's an overestimation of the value of a technology. So looking around, what's going on in tech right now, AI is like super hyped, like really, like people are talking about like it's a silver bullet, it's going to solve all of our problems. It's just like it's going to change everything. And that may be the case, but the reality of it is we're still early on in the development of AI technology. And there is just a ton of hype that will probably fizzle out over time. Okay. So the purple line is kind of an estimation of how we think about the future, but the teal line is showing really how the productivity related to a particular technology develops. In the beginning, it's lower than the actual capabilities of the AI are lower in the beginning compared to the expectation. But over time, it develops. You can think about like the internet, right? The internet was a ton of hype back in the 90s, early 2000s. There was the dot-com boom. People were thinking it would solve everything, but and kind of has solved a lot of problems. It's created a lot of problems, but if you look over the last, say, 25 years as the internet has developed, you can see that technology has dramatically developed over time. We can't imagine what our lives would be like without the internet, right? So that's a good example of just basically this law called Amara's Law. Here's another kind of graph describing what happens. And I'm showing you this because this is kind of where I'll show you where we're at with the AI technology. So this purple line is or I should say the vertical axis is expectations. So our expectations of a particular technology, and the horizontal line is time. So in the beginning, we have really, really high expectations for a piece of technology. And then it peaks out, and they call this the peak of inflated expectations, where it's like, maybe it's not as cool as we thought it was. And that expectation drops significantly down to what we call a trough of disillusionment, where it's like, oh, maybe this really isn't that important. Maybe it's not that valuable. There was all this hype about it. It's not really that big of a deal. And then there's a slope of enlightenment as the technology picks up and begins to be integrated into systems and into culture, community, our lives, and so forth. And then we end up with the plateau of productivity. Right now, you might talk to different people and they might give you suggestions on where they think we're on this slope. But I think we're on the downside, just at maybe right after that peak of inflated expectations. We're kind of like peaking, and there's some disillusionment. When I speak for groups or whatnot about AI, and I have a poll that I ask everybody at the beginning of the presentation about how they feel about it, and I get a lot of people saying AI is way overhyped. It's not going to be what people thought it was going to be, et cetera. So I think we're kind of like just coming off of that top curve, and we're going to eventually hit a trough of disillusionment and then move on to a slope of enlightenment. So when we talk about AI, I want to be sensitive to the fact that there is a lot of hype, and I am extremely bullish on AI. I think that it's inevitably going to change our lives like the internet has, or like the light bulb. I think it's going to be that big. But I think we're definitely in a place where there's just a lot of stuff out there. There's a lot of hype, a lot of chatter that really will probably play out to be BS. So that's the best way to say it. So kind of give you a sense of where I'm at in terms of my perspective on AI and how we'll approach it. For those of you who are super new to AI, I wrote an ebook with Anne-Marie De Palma called Exploring Artificial Intelligence. This is kind of an entry-level book about the history of AI and kind of where it's going. And if you're interested in just learning more about it, having some good resources or a resource with some good information, you can download that ebook for free if you'd like. All right, let me tell you a quick story to bring some context to this. One of the biggest concerns with AI, and this is not just in dentistry, this is across the board, is that AI is just simply going to take our jobs. We're all going to be out of business and not have any jobs, and there will definitely be some displacement. I don't think it's going to be replacement, though. My sense is that there will be some jobs, a very few, where AI will be able to do a better job than a human being. And I really think that those are the types of jobs that people don't want to do anyway. Customer service, making hamburgers at McDonald's, that kind of stuff. But in terms of the dental industry and healthcare, I think what it's going to create is it's going to create a displacement. And what this means is that as AI technology is integrated into systems and the way the practice is run, you're not going to have a front desk assistant doing all of the same tasks. They might be doing some tasks that they're doing now, but a lot of it will be automated. So I think it's an overreach. It's an overreach to basically say that AI is going to take a dentist's job or a dental team member's job. All of the technology that I have seen and also been involved in developing is really giving those team members and those people tools to do their jobs more simply and more effectively. And here's an example. So this is a picture on the left and the right of my sister and her family. Her name is Dani. She lives in Spain. And I'm giving you this example to kind of show you the idea of displacement versus replacement. So she's a copywriter for my social practice. We do a ton of copywriting, website copywriting, any kind of copywriting. And a few years ago, well, actually, this is back in like 2022. I had two copywriters at my company. I had her and one other copywriter. And we were getting ready to hire a new copywriter. And a good copywriter, somebody who's really good at it, you might spend a salary would be probably between $50,000 to maybe $80,000 a year, depending on their qualifications and whatnot. And so we were getting ready as a company to hire and spend $50,000 to $80,000. And we were looking for a copywriter to come in and support because we reached our bandwidth. And then ChatGPT came out. So ChatGPT came out in 2022. I think it was October or November of 2022. So about 2.5 years ago. And when I started playing around with ChatGPT, I'm like, oh my laws, like this is going to fundamentally change how copywriting is done. And the more I learned about how to use it, I realized that we could probably scale our copywriting projects much, much cleaner, quicker, create processes that would allow us to produce 2 to maybe 3 times as much copy as we could without even hiring somebody. If we just started implementing some of the strategies and leveraging AI to help in that process. And I got really excited about it. So I showed my sister this ChatGPT. She hadn't seen it. This is like late 2022. And I'm like, you're not going to believe this. And I showed it to her and kind of blew her mind. And the first thing that came out of her mouth was, oh my gosh, I'm getting fired. That's the first thought that came to her mind. And, I honestly had to calm her down. She was pretty tore up about it, thinking that she was going to lose her job. And I said, calm down. That's not what's happening here. And she learned how to use it. We implemented some processes and procedures internally to help write copy using AI. And we were able to do just what I mentioned, which is we were able to produce about 2.5 times as much copy with the same team, with the 2 copywriters that we have. That is a really good example. So nobody lost their job. Okay. Nobody lost their job, but their jobs changed. Both of my copywriters are really great at using all the different large language models: ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude. There's quite a few of them out there, Perplexity. And we leverage those tools to help us refine our copywriting. And we haven't had need to hire another copywriter. So that's an idea. That's an example of displacement. Now I've got an employee who's not just a copywriter; they are also adept at using AI tools to help perform their tasks. And I think that that's going to be similar in terms of how AI will be integrated into the dental industry. I only mention this because it's a legitimate concern, and I would hope that I could assuage some of the paranoia that might be in the dental industry about robots coming to take our jobs and maybe kill us. Who knows, right? All right, so we're going to talk about a few things in this presentation. So we're going to talk about the benefits of generative AI and NLP, which is natural language processing. I'm not going to go into detail about how it works, like how does AI create the content, like what's the algorithm and what's the algorithm doing. I'm just going to talk about functionally how you can use some of the tools out there. We're going to talk about improved data, content generation, enhanced search, and automation. Okay, and all of those are relatable to generative AI and natural language processing. So let's talk about improved data. Now, I'm not associated in any way with Denti AI. I don't even know anybody that works there, but I am familiar with their product. And basically, what this is an AI software tool that helps with perio charting. It does quite a few other things, but one of the main services that this software offers is a way in which you can just speak the measurements of your perio charting, and the AI will basically take that and upload it into your patient management system. So I've never worked in a dental practice. I don't know how, if there's sometimes problems or there might be mishaps in the translation of the perio charting from the measurement into manually entering the data into the patient management system. But this tool basically solves that problem. Basically, what it does is, I believe it's an app on your phone, or you can get a little mic and you turn it on and you basically read off your perio notes, and it just automatically updates the information right into the patient management system. I think also that Denti AI's product is a patient notes, a note taker. So I believe it can record conversations that you have with a patient. And just like when you go into a meeting, like an online meeting, and there's a note taker, like an AI note taker in there that will summarize the meeting and send notes, this AI tool will basically summarize the conversation between the doctor and the patient and upload all that information into the patient management system, into the correct fields and so forth. So I found a little video online that was like a demo of this. The audio is not very loud on it, but I'll play a few seconds of this so you can kind of see what it does. But what it basically can do is negate the manual entry of data into your patient management system. And if you think about maybe getting to the end of the day and then uploading all of your notes into the PMS, you wouldn't have to do that anymore. It just does it automatically throughout the day. And it does it with a frictionless kind of process and without making mistakes, no spelling errors, etc. So here's the little video.
This is Denti AI Scribe. Within our AI application, click the clinical note. When you are ready, click New. Your patient's name should be here, as well as your provider name. This will give you an automatic day and time that the note was created, and here is where you can access the already existing templates. If needed, you can add a new template. Simply copy it from an existing template and paste it here. Then give it a name, and then make sure you click Save. Once you're ready to begin, you can click Start. As you have your conversation with your patient, a transcript will appear on the left-hand side. Once you are ready to format, just click Pause. Pause will allow everything to get added into the summary. If you would prefer the notes to be in a different template, simply choose another template. Everything that has changed from the original will be in green.
Adrian, I don't know if you can talk them through some of this, but it's really low.
Is it really low?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically what's
It
happening
will save a summary
What's
into your
happening here is they're
clinical
having a
notes on your
conversation in the
system.
office. I appreciate you letting me know, Don. I wish the audio on this was a little bit better, but basically what's happening is there is a mic somewhere in the room, and the doctor's having a conversation with the patient, and they're choosing it's recording the conversation and it's summarizing the conversation, and then they're choosing a template. So you can create different types of templates based on the type of appointment it might be, and it'll take the summary and all the information in the conversation and move that information into the template. And the template correlates with different fields inside of your patient management system. So it's a simple way to move all of that information from the conversation directly into the patient management system without having to take any notes yourself. Which I have talked to a couple doctors about this, and it saved them like an hour, maybe a couple hours a day, and just know, like, whether they're doing it or their team members are doing it, it just saved a tremendous amount of time. And the other benefit is like what I mentioned, which is you're not forgetting anything. Everything is recorded, everything is updated correctly. All of the information is placed in the correct format inside of the patient management system based on the template that you build. So, like I mentioned, I don't have any affiliation with this company, and I know there are other products on the market that are similar to this. If you were to Google search AI note taker for dentists, you'd probably find 5 or 6 companies that have developed this, or there's probably others that are coming online. But this tool is going to become more and more robust as the AI agents get better and better and better. And as the integrations between a piece of software like this and the patient management system become more robust, meaning being able to upload data into more fields and so forth. So I think it's a great example of how AI removes a manual task that AI can do and can do better, frankly. All right, let's talk about content generation. I'm going to go through some pictures here. I made some images in AI, and I grabbed some photographs that were actual photographs. And I made these about a year ago. So they're actually, some of the image generation tools out there are they're so good now. It's almost flawless. You can't tell. And so what I'm doing is I'm going to show you several photos, and I want you to look at the photo and just think to yourself, is this AI or is this a real photograph? Okay. So here's 3. And the question is, which one of these is made with AI? So look at those for a second. Now, when I do this little test in front of a crowd, I get everybody raising their hand at the one on the right. The lady on the right is the AI image. And they're right, it is the AI image, but they're all AI images. So that's the trick. Anyway, so I made all of these with AI. Here's another one. Is this AI or is this a photo? This is AI. Is this AI or is this a photo? This is AI. And notice I don't know which tooth number that is, but the front tooth on the left, it even added an outline, a shadow outline on the tooth to make it seem like it was a real photo. Like it looks like a chair, I think is or a person standing there. Is this AI or is this a photo? That's AI. Is this AI or is this a photo? That's a photo. Is this AI or is this a photo? That is AI.
Wow.
Is this AI or is this a photo?
Photo.
That is AI.
Ugh.
And what I did with this one is I said, make me an image that looks like a 70s Polaroid. So it actually added those scratches and the little imperfections on the photo or in the image to make it look like it was a real photo, but it was made with AI. I made all of these in a product called MidJourney. MidJourney is probably one of the top 3 leading image generation tools on the internet. And I'm going to actually jump out of the presentation and jump into my MidJourney account so I can just give you a quick demo of what it looks like and how you actually do this. So give me 1 second. And it costs about 30 bucks a month, I think, 25, 30 bucks a month. So here's what the account looks like when you create it. Over on the left, you've got an Explore tab, and these are just images that anybody online has made that are kind of interesting that they highlight on the front page of their of the system. But if you go to the Create tab, this is the images that you've created. And you can see here, I've got probably 20 or 30,000 photos in here that we've made. I mean, I don't know. I mean, some of the stuff is kind of wild, like this thing here, whatever that is. But all you do is right here in the field where it says, what will you imagine? You can put a prompt in there. Create, Dawn, do you want me to make something for you? Anything. Do you care? If not, I'll just come up with something.
Sure, go for it.
All right, create a photo of a dentist riding a unicorn a at sunset um, with stars in the background. All right, whatever. All right, just guys, I'm just coming up with stuff. Now you can put that, then you can hit go, or you can actually change the format. So if you want it to be a portrait, if you want it to be square, a landscape, you can kind of toggle this switch here and it'll give you something. Let's go with a 16 by 9-ish there. And then you've got some aesthetic controls here where you can amp up the stylization, the weirdness, the variety. It's going to give you 4 images. So you can mess around with this and play with it and see what you get. But when you hit go, it's going to create 4 images for you with that prompt. Okay, and here we go. There they are. So here's the first one. I mean, we can't tell if that's a dentist or not. It looks more like a cowboy, but whatever, right? But unicorn, stars in the sky. So I could say, create a photo, a dentist riding a unicorn in the sky at sunset. And let's see what we get. So you can kind of tweak it. You can tell what colors you want. You can tell it's not. So see how you have to learn how to prompt this so you can get what you want. I was hoping to get something flying in the sky, but it's just giving a really big sky background. So let's actually riding in the sky above the mountains. Let's sunset. Let's see what it gives us here. Oh my goodness, I'm not getting what I want. This is a good demo because it's not as easy as just any prompt. You have to like give it some more prompting. So let me
Adrian, could a doctor use this for like logo design or marketing on their website or coming up with something like that?
create a vector logo in using, and you could put in the colors here, the hex colors or whatever, using blue and gray for a dental practice called Dawn's Amazing Dental Practice. Okay. All right. Let's see what we get. All right. So, and I didn't change this. All right. But, so you could play with this. You could spin up hundreds of graphics, tweaking them this way or that way to get something that you might want. So you can see how it's starting to pull in dentistry, right? It pulled in a tooth, a mirror here. You could give it font direction all sorts of stuff. So the cool thing about AI image generation and most AI stuff is that it's not copyrightable. So anything that you make and you create, you can't copyright it and you can't be sued for it. So if I wanted to do something, if I needed an image for my website, let's say, create a realistic image photo, it's called a photo, of a child dental patient sitting in a dental chair. I'll say happy, photo realistic. I'll say 8K, so it's a high resolution. I'll say bokeh, which is a lighting technique. Let me make sure I've got that right. And let's just see what we get. And let's change it to a square image, okay? So you could create, so you don't need to go and like buy images anymore, like Adobe Stock, right? That's a cute kid. You could make them ethnic, make them white, Asian. You can give it any direction that you want, and you're just going to be able to spin out tons and tons and tons of imagery, okay? So this is called MidJourney. I believe there's a free plan. There might be one. I know that when I started doing this a couple of years ago, there was a free plan. There may not be one anymore, but you can do a month-to-month kind of thing. Sign up for $30, bust out a few hundred images, and you're good to go, okay? All right, so I'm not going to spend more time on that. That's a quick introduction to image creation. Let me share my presentation again. Okay, so that's MidJourney. Let's talk about video creation. Now, this is something that's just kind of gotten to the point where it's pretty freaking cool. So there are a few different products out there where you can do text to video creation. That means you give it a text prompt. Hey, make me a video of blah, 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 and it creates you a video. Sora is the product from OpenAI. OpenAI is the company that owns ChatGPT. So this is OpenAI's product for video creation. There's also Gemini, which is Google's product, which just came out with Veo 3 like a few weeks ago, and they're both unbelievable. So I'm going to show you some videos here of stuff that was, I'm going to show you a video that was created about 2 years ago using AI. And then I'm going to show you some of the stuff that's been done in the last few weeks. So this is a video of a beer commercial. And you're going to see, and this was done like 2 years ago with AI.
Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. She was looking kind of dumb with her finger and her thumb in the shape of an L on her forehead. Well, the years start coming and they don't stop 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 coming and they don't stop.
So it just spins off into apocalyptic like chaos, right? Because the AI doesn't have the right parameters and doesn't understand the text prompt very well. Funny, interesting, not good for creating content for a dental practice. This video was just recently done, I think, using Sora. Pretty incredible. Here's another video that I found that was just absolutely hilarious and fantastic.
A tale is told of a star that fell in the days when men were hair-covered brutes roaming the earth. This shard of celestial steel was unlike anything early man had ever encountered. And from those 5 fortuitous stainless steel blades came the world's first smooth, silky shave. And it was in that moment manliness burst into existence. This blade charged forward through the ages of steel and dragonfire. Great conquerors slew tyrants. Founding fathers revolted. And as men's manes were tamed, so they tamed the wild frontier. Also, Steve used it to get a good shave, and he's a pretty solid guy. But as power often breeds enemies, so a wild bearded philosopher despised the blade for its glorious manly freedom. This enemy of clean shaves bore the razor to a fiery peak and cast it in. The blade was gone. A dark age of unmanliness ensued, an age of men wearing buns, drinking vegan milkshakes, and wearing really tight pants and acting like a bunch of crybaby commies. Until one day, the great archaeologist and CEO Jeremy Boring went on a dangerous quest on which many before had perished. Through seas, mountains, and deepest catacombs, he found the blade still sharp as starlight. His mission was to restore the blade to mankind and thereby restore manliness.
Will my razor make you as manly as the actual greatest men in all of human history? I guarantee it will. In the most emphatic way that isn't legally binding. Hey, at least you'll be as manly as Steve.
Jeremy's razors. Carve out your legacy.
Hilarious. So you can see he used some Lord of the Rings prompting and some Indiana Jones prompting to get some of those graphics. Now, obviously, the Adidas and Jeremy Boring, the guy that did that second video, spent some time on that, right? I just jumped into Sora a few weeks ago, and I just put in a simple prompt of show me an up-close photo of a dental patient smiling with perfect teeth. And I created these quick 5-second videos. The braces on this one are totally messed up, but I was trying to work in some orthodontics. So I did these with Sora. I have tested out Veo 3, so Google Veo 3 or Veo 3, however you say it. But both softwares have free plans. You can go to either one of those. You can create, I think, 5 to 8 second videos really quick. No necessary. You don't need to know anything about like coding or anything like that. You just put in a text prompt and it can create a video for you. And I'd encourage you to take a look at those. I've been making a whole bunch of videos and imagery related to dentistry, and I put them on this Instagram account called Dental AI Art. And you're welcome to use anything on here. There's some pretty crazy stuff on there, but it's all dental related. And you can go in there and kind of get some ideas and some things that you might want to use in your prompts and stuff that you might want to create. So yeah, go ahead and follow that if you're interested. All right. The next thing I want to talk about is music creation. And this is actually quite incredible. I'm going to actually skip this. I have two songs that I'm going to show, but I'm going to skip this first one because I don't want to run out of time. So let me skip this one. And this is one that I made for Atlanta Dental and AIDA. And I made this the other day. And I sent this to Dawn and Skip. But I made this in a product called Suno, and I'll show you how it works here in a sec. But I want to play this for a second. It was a rap song.
Yeah, ATL in the building. Hold up, it's that Southern pride. We did this ride with Atlanta, then nobody side.
Check it from Georgia's heart to Alabama's line. Did no dreams, wiggity wiggy, one smile at a time. Remember practice shining like in the mole on teeth. Support strong when you were deaf, rolling with belief. Education from the source, y'all. AIDA in charge. Dawn spitting wisdom, yeah, her vision's large. While Skip connects the dots, smooth like floss. Relationship gold, no network getting lost.
Atlanta Dental got your back, that's fact. From your first patient form to your final impact. Trust, profit, and love is the code that we live. To our Southern practices, all we do is give.
All right. So it created a whole, I created like, I don't know, maybe 10 songs really quick. And I picked a couple of them, and that was the best one that I liked. So you can do this in a product called Suno.ai, Suno.ai. It has a free plan. You can go in, create an account, You can make about 5 songs, or I think maybe 10 songs, and then you have to move to the paid plan. I think I pay about 25 bucks a month for this. The way that the use case for this in dentistry is, like, there's no reason that you can't create like a dental practice theme song or create music that would go over the top of a video that you're playing, or create a dance song and do a dance to it. Really, really simple. So let me show you. I'm going to show you really quick. I'm going to jump out of this, and I'm going to go into I'm going to go into Suno, into my account, and I want to show you how to do this. It's actually really, really simple if you've had just a quick introduction to it. So give me one second. There it is. Okay. All right. So it's suno.ai. When you get into your account, if you're on the free plan, you only have access to a simple song. Okay. I'm on the paid plan, so I can make custom songs. And I'm going to show you the way to do this custom. And we're going to make a rap song. If there's anybody that wants me to make a song about their practice, chat in your website URL really quick to Dawn, and Dawn, read it off to me, and I'll make a song for you. And I'll send it to Dawn, and she can send it to you. But we'll make a golden age rap song for your practice.
Yeah, if anybody just wants to put it in the question panel, you've got a panel on your screen, Q&A. Just type it in.
And if we don't get anybody that's you know,
That's brave enough
to do this, I'll make something up. Give them a second. Or Dawn, you can just give me one of your clients.
What do they need? You just need the name of like their
URL,
practice
just like
name, like their practice name.
www.com, whatever it is, the URL for your website.
Okay, we got a few of them. First one that came in was Barry, Barry, Road Dental Group, ROADDENTALGROUP.com.
All right, Barry Road
Dental
Dental Group. You're the winner chicken dinner on this. Okay. All right. So here's how I do it. This is Perplexity. Perplexity is like ChatGPT. But the thing that Perplexity can do that's better than any other AI agent is it can analyze a website. So I just created a prompt that says, I'd like you to take a look at this website and give me a short description of their practice, their values, what they stand for, the doctor and the team. Make sure to include the city and state. So what I'm doing here is I'm just getting a description of your practice. So I'm going to hit go. It's going to analyze your website, and it's going to give me a little blurb on you guys. Okay. So I'm just going to grab this. Whoa, it's got a bunch in here. Okay, so let's see. Let me go up here. Let me grab all this. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over into ChatGPT. So I'm using Perplexity to analyze the website. ChatGPT, I've noticed, doesn't really do a good job of analyzing a website and pulling data out. So I use Perplexity to do it that way. Then I go into ChatGPT. Now in ChatGPT, there is a way. So the way that AI agents are being built is you have huge AI agents like ChatGPT, where they've dumped in the entire internet into the algorithm, and it just understands human language. But there are thousands and tens of thousands of little tiny GPTs that have a very specific purpose. Okay, and these GPTs can speak to each other. So inside of ChatGPT, you can go to this tab right here on the left that says GPTs, and you can do a search in here for a GPT that does something very specific. Okay, and I would encourage you to just search anything, because there are so many of these being built. If you can think of it, like if you want to create a slide presentation, if you want to create a video, whatever it might be, you can search in here for these GPTs that do specific use cases, and you can create some content, something with that. Okay, they're like narrow in their ability, but they produce a really specific result. So anyway, in here in GPTs, you can search for AI music creator or something like that. So that's what I did. And I found this one called AI music lyric and prompt generator make songs. This is built specifically for Suno. So this agent, this AI agent will create the prompt that I need to put into Suno. Okay. So all I do is I just say, I'd like, if I can spell, you to create a golden age rap song for the following practice and use lots of filler words. This is something I've just kind of learned, like wiggity, how do you spell wiggity, wiggity whack, etc. Okay. Oops. And here is the information about the practice. So I'm just going to drop in all that information from Perplexity, and I'm going to hit go. So now what's going to do is it's going to take the information I gave it, and because it's only making a prompt for Suno, it's going to give me the lyrics and the structure. Okay. So here it is. Here's the genre, the prompt, and the lyrical structure summary. And here are the words. Yeah, wiggity, wiggity, what? Y'all know the deal. It's that dental reel, Berry Road, Kansas City appeal, haha. Okay, right, all right. So I'm going to grab this. I'm going to grab the lyrics. I'm going to copy those, and I'm going to go into Suno. And so now in Suno, I'm on the custom agent because I'm on the paid version. I just drop the lyrics right here. Boom, just like that. They're all in there. Now you can go and you can edit the lyrics, you can make changes and all that kind of stuff, but we won't do that today because we don't have the time. And then in the style description, I've taken a description that I've used, that this is the same description of style that I used to make the song for Ada. Okay, and I just hit create. And what it's going to do is it's going to create 2 songs at a time. Okay, so I'll just and you can bust these out. You can bust out 20 of them and find the one that you like. It's really kind of fun. So once it's done here, so there's the first one. Let's play it. Yeah. Can you guys hear that? Could you hear that?
Yes, we can hear it.
You can hear it? Okay, I want to make sure that it's playing through the, okay.
Wiggy, wiggy, what? Y'all know the deal, it's that dental reel. Berry Road, Kansas City appeal. Yeah. Yeah. Wiggy, wiggy, what? Y'all know the deal, it's that dental reel. Berry Road, Kansas City appeal. Hey, yo, Dr. Caldwell, drop that drill beat, homie. Hey, hey. Wiggity, wiggity, whack, black. Gone with a flash. Berry Rose, the crew, keeping teeth fresh and brash. From Zona Rosa down to Parkville streets. We floss so hard, we break concrete. Preventative clean, restoring like kings. Implants bling, you know we do the mouth thing. Check up, wiggity whack, say y'all real loud. We clean your grill till it's glimmering proud. Check up, wiggity whack, sit back in the chair. KC's finest make cavities rare. Yo, no fear in the dental.
All right, let's say this next one.
Yeah. Wiggy, wiggy, what? Y'all know the deal. It's that dental reel. Berry Road, Kansas City appeal. Ha! Hey, yo, Dr. Caldwell, drop that drill beat, homie. Wiggity, wiggity, whack, black, going with a flash. Berry Road's a crew, keeping teeth fresh and brash. From Zona Rosa down to Parkville streets. We floss so hard, we break concrete. Preventative clean.
All right, so, and you can just spin it and spin it and spin it and do as many as you want, changing the lyrics. You can go back and run the prompt again using that little AI lyric generator. Say, give me a different set of lyrics. It'll just, and you can just find something that you like. This is actually like, this is one I did about periodontal disease.
Snap your fingers, don't delay. Got a story about your gums decay. In the spotlight, the dancers glide. There's a shadow that your smile can't hide. He had charm, he had flair, had a two-tone suit. But when he smiled, white Lord, his breath could pollute. Didn't floss, didn't care, thought his teeth were divine. Now the dentist says, son, that jaw ain't fine. You got the gumshoe blues. It's a periodontal crime. Let it slide too long. Now you're out of time. Your roots are aching, your smile's on.
All right. So you
Too
get
cute.
the idea. Let me go back to my presentation. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, here it is. Okay. So Suno AI, super cool tool to create music. I don't see why dental practices can't have a theme song or create music for ad campaigns or anything like that. Using this tool, it's so easy. All right. I've made a few songs, and I put them in a blog post. Some of them are a little weird, like vampire dentists and stuff like that, weird stuff. But if you go to that blog post, you can play some of the songs that we've made. And if anybody's interested after the fact, if you shoot me an email or shoot Don an email, I'm happy to jump on any other time and help you make a song. Okay. So just if you want me to get online with your marketing director or somebody from your team, I'm happy to do that. Just let me know. All right, let's move on to enhanced search. I'm going to bust through this pretty quick because I want to show you one more thing. I am just about to drop an ebook all about search engine optimization and how it's changing with AI. If you have been on Google recently, when you do a search, you'll notice at the top of the search engine an AI overview in this little graphic over here on the right, if you can see that okay. It'll have an AI overview and it gives a description it gives an answer to your query. That is Google Gemini. So that's Google's AI tool. It's kind of like ChatGPT, but they're injecting it into the search results. And the reason they're doing this is because if you've used it, you'll find that the AI results are so much easier, quicker. They're more direct to answering the question of the query. And so what we're in right now is we're in a massive transition where typical search, where you just ask a question and Google just queries content online and kind of matches it up and gives you a website result or gives you a video or whatever, I see it going away. And AI will become the main interface with how we interact with the internet, where the AI agent is sourcing the content and delivering it to the query or the person searching. And the problem with this is that if you want to be found on the internet by a patient, you're going to have to figure out how to get your website to be a resource for Google Gemini's or Google's AI agent Gemini. If it doesn't see your website as a valuable resource in answering a question from a patient who's asking about, who's the best dentist in the city that accepts Medicaid or whatever it might be, you're not going to be found. And so there are some very specific ways in which you can shift the way that you do search engine optimization so that your content will show up in the AI overview. It's called GEO, Generative Engine Optimization. So SEO is transitioning into GEO. And I've written a 20-page ebook about how to do this, and it's being done like in the next couple days. This is actually a slide from the ebook. If it's okay, Don, I will send you the ebook, and if you don't mind at least sharing it with everybody that's joined, I think it will be a great introduction to what's happening with search.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Send it to me, and then I will send for everybody that's on the call tonight. I will just send you guys a follow-up email tomorrow. It'll have the link in it. No problem at all.
I may not have it done by tomorrow, but I'll get to it as soon as it's done. Okay.
Whenever you send it to me, I'll send it on to them.
Okay. All right. I do have some articles on my website, mysocialpractice.com, on the blog that talk about this. And so if you do go to our blog and you just look through some of the content, you'll start seeing a whole bunch of information and blog posts about GEO and the shift that's happening. It's a big deal in terms of how you're going to be found by patients in your area. All right, last thing I want to show you And I'm going to skip through a lot of these slides because we only got 5 minutes left, but I do want to show you, I'm going to jump through some of this stuff. Okay. I want to play you a couple of recordings. So what I'm about to show you is a product called Annie, which is a company that my company invested in. So I have a vested interest in sharing this with you. But let me tell you why we invested in it. So when a dental practice hires us to, put butts in seats, basically, find some patients and get them scheduled and have them show up, okay? The problem that we run into as a marketing company is we're driving traffic and phone calls to a practice or even potentially scheduled appointments. But a lot of the activity is happening when the practice isn't available. So a call comes in at 5:05 and it goes to voicemail. And voicemail is a technology that is not going to be around in the next couple of years because of what I'm going to show you. When somebody goes to voicemail, 80% of patients do not leave a voicemail message, especially if they're like millennials or Gen Z. They don't leave messages. And if it's a new patient who may be in an emergency, they just call the next dental practice. And so what we had to do is figure out a way to improve the conversion rate on the marketing campaigns so that we get more scheduled patients, because we want to stay hired, right? So if we're having a call at the end of the month and we haven't produced enough value or enough patient value, scheduled treatment, we get fired. So we started looking into developing an AI agent that you could train to be a front desk person at a dental practice. We started doing this a couple of years ago, and we ended up investing in a company called Annie AI. Okay. Now there's a lot of these on the market. They're kind of popping up everywhere because it's such a valuable product or service. But obviously, if you're going to do this, you need to check out Annie AI. That's my plug. So this is a call. So what I'm going to play you a couple calls and then we'll be done. But these are calls that have come in to a dental practice, and they're actual calls. I've redacted the patient's contact information so that I can share it. But these are calls that have come into a dental practice where an AI agent picked up the call and solved the problem or whatever, okay? And this is fully integrated into the patient management system. It's fully integrated and trained with the team. So the team understands what the AI agent's doing in the evenings when they're not at the office. Tasks are assigned. It's all super choreographed in a really efficient way. And it actually saves dental teams time. I've talked to a few different front office office managers or front desk people who are using this, and they say they save about 20 to 30 minutes a day just not having to listen to voicemails. So here we go.
Hello, my name is Annie. I'm Smile Prestige's AI assistant. How can I help you?
Hey, I have an implant that I need to get, and I just wanted to see how much that was going to cost.
We'd be happy to help with that. What was your name?
Rinda.
Thanks, Rinda. Have you visited our practice before, or would this be your first time?
First time.
Well, it is nice to meet you, Rinda. Just in case we get disconnected, what was your phone number? Thanks, Rinda. To answer your question, the price of an implant can vary depending on what exact treatment our doctor recommends. Would you like to schedule a consultation and we can give you a detailed breakdown of your estimated cost after we've assessed your needs?
I have Cigna. Do you know how much they'll cover?
Many insurance plans, including Cigna, will cover at least a portion of implant-related costs, though the exact coverage can vary depending on your plan's details. We'd be happy to give you a detailed breakdown of your coverage and costs before your appointment. Would you like me to look for some open times for a consultation?
Are you able to give me a ballpark estimate?
While it's hard to give a ballpark estimate without first assessing your needs, we'd be happy to give you a full breakdown of your exact coverage after your consultation. If those costs are higher than you can afford, we'd be happy to tell you about our flexible payment options as well. We offer Care Credit and Cherry, which provide affordable ways to split up your payments if the recommended treatment falls outside of your budget. Would you like me to look at some open times?
Yes.
All right, so that's not the end of the call. She ended up actually scheduling, but I want you to notice something. I don't know how many of you on the call have had to train a front desk person to navigate a patient who is persistent on trying to get a cost on a particular service. But it's a really difficult conversation for somebody who hasn't had a lot of like sales experience or doesn't understand how to manage and control conversations. But you'll notice that the agent did not mention the price. The agent was built in a way for this particular practice where it would offer the payment options in order to try and convert that patient to a scheduled appointment. And some of the other agents that we've built, it will bring up the membership plan and suggest that as an option to schedule an appointment. You can get really, really, really particular in the way that these agents handle specific conversations. And the data and the numbers that we're getting out of it are kind of astounding. I'm going to flip through, I have a whole bunch of these calls, but let me just show you a couple quick case studies. This is a specialty practice. They just do airway stuff. They had this on for 2 months. It's a smaller practice, so they didn't have a lot of conversations. They had 122 total conversations in 2 months. They had 66 conversations that went the full conversation, right? Meaning that the person didn't hang up. It wasn't a sales call. It wasn't trying, it was a bot calling the practice or something like that. Total of 66 patients. 32 of those conversations were fully resolved, meaning there was no task sent to the team to follow up on the call. It just handled it. It either scheduled the appointment, answered the question, or whatever it might be. There were 28 total new leads, so new patients the data was grabbed, 12 appointments, and they billed almost $8,000. And this is not an exorbitant example. This is an example of somebody who's a pretty big practice. Let me go back. These guys have 6 doctors in the office, almost 1,150 phone calls, 358 appointment conversations about scheduling an appointment, 120 emergency appointment calls, 44 confirmations, and 152 scheduled appointments, which resulted in almost $60,000 in revenue. So I want you to think about your own practice. I want you to think about how many calls are we missing? How many calls are being sent to voicemail where we're not getting anything out of that because voicemail is just doesn't do a very good job of grabbing patient data and moving it along the funnel, right? The funnel of, generating a lead and getting them to come into the practice. I'm seeing this across, we've got about 150 practices that are using this now, and I'm seeing consistent results across the board. So it's a significant shift in the way that you manage missed phone calls. You can also set this up to do web chat, and this all is built on ChatGPT. So you're basically taking ChatGPT and you're training that agent to actually be a member of your team. Now, going back to my original story about my sister, Danny, this is not going to replace any of your dental team members, but what it will do is free up a ton of time. Not only is it going to capture opportunities that you're missing because you're not picking up all your phone calls. I don't think there is a dental practice that gets all of them, but it will become an extension of your team. And your team will begin to use it as a tool and rely on it to help them efficiently do their job at the front desk, freeing up time for them to spend more time with patients in the office, etc. So I would encourage you to take a look at this. This is one of the products, when I mentioned earlier that there's products coming online, this is an easy inflection point in the dental industry to have an AI agent that can handle conversations, web chat, schedule appointments. I just see 2 to 3 years out that most dental practices will have something like this in their office.
Adrian, if someone on the call tonight wants to get a consultation on that or get more details on that, how would they go? Oh, you're perfect. Okay,
there you go. QR code that. And I don't mean to turn this into like a sales pitch, but I am kind of.
No, but if they're interested, they need to know what to do with the information you gave them. So that's great.
If you fill that out, that'll come to me and I'll demo the product with you. I'll show you what it looks like and how it works. So I appreciate you, Don, bringing that up because I did want to mention it. So, but there's other tools out there that are coming. There's Pearl AI and Overjet, and there's the Denti product that I mentioned earlier, all built on these AI capabilities that enhance your practice, provide better customer service, support and diagnostics, clean up data entry problems and issues like that. I'm very bullish that dental practices who lean into AI and aren't afraid of the changes that it will potentially make in their dental practices will see significant profits in their practice. So I'll end there, and hopefully this was helpful. And
I think it's great. And Adrian, I think that one thing is they have to think about is that our corporate competitors are doing this. So if the independent, practices, they want to keep, competitive and keep up with them, this is going to be a valuable way that they could do that.
Yeah, to that point, Don, DSOs are way ahead of the game on this. They're either building their own agents or they're implementing this stuff already. So, you're going to want to stay competitive for sure.
Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree.
So thank you.
No, I appreciate you coming on tonight. I do want to remind everybody just really quickly about that we do have those CE certificates. You guys should be able to get your feedback survey now. Sorry about going over a little bit, but it was all great information. So I know that I didn't want to get off and cut him short either. But you will get that email. And then real quick before I let everyone go tonight, we are completed with the first half of 2025. I know that sounds just so strange. We're going to take a couple of months off for the summer, and we're going to come right back strong with some amazing virtuals. We're going to give you your opioid credit if you need that. We're doing that in December. We're going to do an insurance course in September. And we are literally having a 3-part series with Dr. Jennifer Bell on wish they had taught this in dental school. She is going to be talking about all kinds of things, KPIs for your practice, insurance, processes. You will not want to miss this if you're a dentist or if you are a coordinator, an office coordinator in the practice. So with that, I'm going to let everyone go. I'm going to thank Adrian for all this fantastic information. And I hope everybody has a fantastic evening.
Thank you, Don. Thanks everybody for joining.
Thanks. Have a great evening, everyone.
See ya.